What is up, DS3 TV? We are back. We are back here, and yeah, if you saw me, you probably saw me a little bit earlier. If you are on my Twitch, Diana Goddess, and that's with four S's. Link in the description down below. And yeah, I just got done streaming, got some food. So yeah. Yeah, let's get into it. And it's not a lot of water here, but okay. But yeah. So this one is, it seems like it's kind of like another person that's kind of like Crowd. So let's look at the video. This video has Debt Ruined Greece Forever, and is actually by, I actually want to see this guy's channel's name. Because I was looking at it, I kind of liked how it looked. What? h0ser. So yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, let's get into it, and yeah. And play.
Greece, the birthplace of Western civilization, democracy, philosophy, theater, flourisher of mathematics, the sciences, and the arts. Ancient Greece is the backbone to our modern...
Plus, I told you that I really do like learning about Greek history more so I gotta watch this one.
Modern-day culture in the West. Sure, you can say Roman culture is our backbone, but ancient Rome was heavily influenced by the Greeks. But nowadays, the Greeks are known for a lot less. Good food, Orthodox Christianity, nice coasts, and beautiful cities are what Greece shows off today. I'm just kidding.
Heroes are really good. Just saying.
You know I'm talking about the debt crisis. Modern-day Greece's economy is what many people see when they look at the country. For a high-income economy, they have an insane debt-to-GDP ratio and the worst unemployment rate in the EU. So this begs the question, a question that is more economic than usual. What is the future of Greece? Before diving into the economy of the Greeks, we really need to examine their geography and modern history. The country has 5 major geographic features that have defined Greek history forever. 1. Its Mediterranean climate means that it was an early cradle of civilization. No pesky winters, but still enough of a winter to freeze the bugs every season. 2. Greece is split into many pieces by the Pindus Mountains. Its rugged nature meant that for the first 400 years it was never united, and that large-scale agriculture was never feasible until the modern day. 3. Its peninsular shape meant that for most of history the Greeks were able to project their power outwards, focusing on its navy. 4. The thousands of Greek islands further engraved that naval skill while making...
Why can't I not look up the 25th largest island? I kind of want to look it up now, but I think I'll wait until after the video.
The Greeks a very mercantile and trading people between the islands. And 5. Its geographic position at the edge of Europe connecting the Black and Mediterranean seas meant that even during times of Greek weakness, some other power would help it survive just to access that position. The geographic location and features meant in some form or another the Greeks have lived there for almost 3,000 years throughout all the ups and downs of Greek history, and there are a lot of both. The Greeks have never stopped living there, and it's very unlikely they ever will. Greece has way too much history to cover in this, so let's fast forward. Greek city-states thought of a bunch of stuff like philosophy and art. Persia invades and mostly fails, then all the Greeks fight. Sparta? No. Thebes? No. Macedon wins the war. And Alexander gets great and makes Greece great, but instead dies, letting the Romans invade. Then it's chill until Rome splits in half, but wait, the Greeks pretty much own this half now, and they Byzantine it up, until they're Seljuk Turked, Crusaded, and Ottoman. The Ottomans kicked the Greeks out of Constantinople.
Greek fleeing to the west to Western Europe during the Ottoman conquest was a large reason for the ancient revival, aka the Renaissance. Okay, I didn't even know that.
Which is now Istanbul. I hate being Ottoman, said the Greeks, and they revolted tons of times with no success. And that brings us to 1821. This time was different. Inspired by the French Revolution, the Enlightenment, and liberal nationalism, the Greeks rebelled for independence. To be honest, it was not going well for the Greeks until the British, French, and Russians wanted a little slice of that region. They sent aids in loads to Greece, which marked the first bailout in Greek history. It resulted in bankruptcy, but the war brought in a new, fresh Greek kingdom. Another loan was given to them to let the kingdom take shape, but it was quickly spent and Greece went bankrupt again in 1843. Another bankruptcy in 1893 due to corruption and overspending on infrastructure. Both of these were largely paid off by other European powers. A series of wars and negotiations eventually gave Greece most of its core lands by 1923. Shortly after the Great Depression, the fourth bankruptcy in modern Greek history happened. But I mean, who didn't go bankrupt?
That's true. I mean, they at least they weren't by themselves that time. It's better to be broke when you're not by yourself, and to know that you're not the only one that's bad at spending money. Oh, wait a minute. No. Go ahead. Alright. So, nothing, just making a review. Reaction.
Bankruptcy in modern Greek history happened, but I mean, who didn't go bankrupt during it? Greece was bouncing between kingdom, republic, military regime, and dictatorship. The Third Hellenic Republic was established after the military regime collapsed following Turkey invading Cyprus, but the Greek economy was actually doing fairly well, largely subsidized by the USA against the nearby Soviets. They had a lower debt to GDP ratio than nations like the UK, Canada, and France. So, in 1981, they joined the European communities, later becoming the EU, which allowed their economy to grow even faster from investments in infrastructure to a larger tourism and shipping market. Greece officially joined the Eurozone in 2001, leaving the drachma behind. Little did they know that 8 years after joining the Eurozone, the Greeks would suffer their biggest crisis in recent history. But we'll leave that for later. Despite all the hullabaloo about the Greek economy, it is still an advanced, industrialized one, although fairly small. Greece is not a developing nation, nor is it really poor. Of course, recent years have questioned this, but realistically, Greece is still a high-income nation. It is the richest state in the Balkans, richer than all the other countries put together, and a top investor in states like Albania, Macedonia, Bulgaria, and Romania. How is the economy structured, however? 3% of GDP is made up of agriculture. Wide-scale agriculture is hard to pull off in Greece just due to the ruggedness. However, this climate of wildly different elevations, pockets of different temperatures, humidities, and soil type, and the thousands of islands, many having a different microclimate, allows the growing of specialty crops. Besides staple grains, Greece is a huge producer of olives, peaches, grapes, oranges, and watermelons. 12% of the economy...
I don't think I ever would have guessed watermelons. Interesting.
Ports on the coast, Greece has plenty of metallic raw material, but with a small population and diverse geographies, it meant economies of scale never worked, and traditional Greek industry like textiles are now outsourced, meaning the manufacturing industry couldn't really take off. Its main industrial products are cement, pharmaceuticals, rebar, soft drinks, and cheese. That leaves 85% of the Greek economy to the service sector. Many industries such as finance, telecommunications, cuisine, education, and especially healthcare are common. In fact, Greece has the highest doctor-to-patient ratio out of anywhere in the EU. But there are two major industries in Greece's service selection: shipping and tourism. The Greeks' mercantile nature still hasn't run out. The Greeks play the role of the middleman in international shipping. Their proximity to Europe, the Middle East, the Suez Canal, and the Black Sea means there's a lot of potential partners to work with. The Greeks even have the largest merchant navy out of anywhere on Earth, even beating the US, UK, China, and Japan, punching far above its size. It accounts for over 15% of the entire world's deadweight tonnage. If you want something shipped, the Greeks will be happy to do it for you. Tourism in Greece is big, like 25% of their GDP and 19% of their labor force big. Over 30 million tourists visited Greece in 2019. That's almost 3 times their actual population. Ever since the 2004 Athens Olympics, Greece has been booming with tourists. Its ancient history mixed with great beaches and plenty of islands make for the perfect hook for all types of tourists. Those islands just make shipping and tourism easy. Let's talk about problems though. Demographically, Greece isn't doing too hot. The 2018 population has shrunk by 100,000 since 2011 to 10.7 million. The average Greek woman has a fertility rate of 1.41, far less than the 2.1 needed to keep a stable population. They need migration in order to stay swimming. However, migrants and especially refugees face huge risks of exploitation. Low-skilled jobs are given to them, if any, not like Greece has many to give right now, and highly skilled migrants are simply not coming to Greece. The opposite is true. Highly skilled young Greeks are leaving for better opportunities in Western Europe or North America.
I remember it was. I had like a couple of people. I knew like a couple people at my last school that was from Greece.
Creating a massive brain drain, which makes their aging crisis even worse. Right now, Greece has the 7th oldest population on Earth, most in their 40s to 50s. Once this generation hits retirement, Greece is going to have a serious issue. They'll have money to deal with it, it just isn't their own money, which leads us to the reason you probably clicked on this video.
Let's get into the heat of this anime. Wait, what?
As the 2009 financial recession was sweeping throughout the world, it hit the European system. The EU was hit harder than the USA, especially the Eurozone, and the Eurozone was only as strong as its weakest link. It hit southern European countries like Spain, Italy, and most importantly, Greece very hard. Unlike Greece's other bankruptcies where it could devalue its currency and apply for loans, this time Greece did not have control over their currency. The debt to GDP ratio shot up to over 170%. The unemployment rate rose to over 20%, over 40% among young Greeks, and the Greek GDP shrunk by 25%. Greece was losing money while taking out more and more loans. To make matters even worse, controversies at the start of the crisis over Greece not exactly reporting its public debt percent accurately made borrowing rates increase, and the country had no way to pay back its new loans. In 2017, the debt was around 318 billion euros, or about 30,000 euros per citizen. That's a lot of money. The Greek population was taxed at a rate of Scandinavian countries with none of the benefits, which caused mass protests and even more Greeks to leave the country. Bailout loans from the International Monetary Fund, European Central Bank, and Eurogroup were given in 2010, 2012, and 2015. Greece officially became the first developed nation to unsuccessfully pay back an IMF loan in 2015, not doing so until 2018. And despite 50% cuts on these debts and Greece making fair progress, Greece still remains in a big euro of debt. The Greek debt crisis quickly became a German problem. Germany was the main architect of the Eurozone, although France played a key role as well, but Germany is the one in charge. The ECB is headquartered in Frankfurt, and Germany is the most populous and rich country in the Eurozone. It has taken on a role as the core nation of the Euro, and the financially responsible parent to the rest. With the Greek debt crisis putting heavy pressure on the Euro, Germany was the one who tried to fix it. Greece became a German debate topic. Germany gave loans, paid loans, approved Greek budgets, gave advice through their own bankers or the ECB. The Germans were forced to. The Eurozone gives the Germans much more financial power than they should have for a country their size, essentially becoming the third largest currency zone.
Oh wow! I did not realize. Okay, that's new information for me.
Germany will try everything to keep it from cracking, something which clearly hasn't been successful. If Greece were to totally default and collapse from debt, the Eurozone would crumble. If Greece were to leave the Eurozone in replacement of the drachma, other states would likely follow and it would crumble. German-Greek and EU-Greek relations are strained. It's not wildly unpredictable to see a future where Greece is tossed out of the Eurozone. What Greece still has to keep the EU and Eurozone invested in it is what made the modern Greek state in the first place, its geographic position. Frankly, its location is going to determine its future much more than the debt crisis will. It is the edge of the EU, and across the Aegean Sea, you will find the biggest Greek headache for the next century, Turkey. I'm sorry to the Greeks watching, but in a one-on-one conflict between the nations, Turkey would win any day. Their population, overall economy, army, and navy are all bigger just by sheer size. What Greece does have is more allies than it. Although both are in NATO, Turkey seems to drift away from the US allied sphere every day. Turkey would love to control the Aegean Sea. It would make them the official crossroad between land and sea in the region. Turkey has been more aggressive in controlling the eastern Mediterranean, something I'm sure the Ottomans and Ghost Forum are smiling at. The islands just off the Turkish coast are most at risk to an attack. Since 2018, there have been 2 cases of Turkish Coast Guard ships ramming into the Greek Coast Guard ships, and 4 cases of Turkish aircrafts harassing Greek ones.
Also, Turkey's trying to pick a fight with Greece, huh?
Causing at least 1 death in the process. To survive, or at least keep at sea, Greece must leverage the EU countries against Turkey and do everything it can to lower its debt. While Greece is unlikely to leave the EU, a rising Grexit sentiment about leaving the Eurozone is catching some steam. If this divorce were to happen, Greece would need to find some friends outside of the EU. The most obvious answer to this question is Russia. Both nations are Orthodox Christians, most Greek imports come from Russia, and Russia has been looking for warm water ports for ages. Russian finance would likely split Greece off from the EU, losing most of its major allies in the process, however. It would allow Russian ships to pass through the Aegean, and both nations could make some serious money if the Russian future is prosperous. Greece needs to make a choice to defend against Turkey, stay with the rich but aging EU, or swap over to the poor, more militarily advanced, and also aging Russia. There's no denying it. The modern Greek state has been plagued with debt ever since 2009. It has been a serious crisis to Greek society and the foundations of the Eurozone. Germany must do whatever it can to stop the Eurozone from collapsing in on itself, starting with Greece. The service-based economy of Greece has 3 whirlwinds coming at it. 1 is the insane debt crisis that the Great Recession, no control over its currency, and hiding its initial debt Greece is in. 2 is the demographic collapse of Greece through its crazily old population or young workforce leaving the country. And 3 is the aggressive Turks next to them looking to take a bite out of a Greek island or two, taking the Greek shipping industry for themselves. But despite this, Greece still remains a high-income developed nation. Its beautiful geography and history ensures that tourism remains a huge industry in the country, and it's that same geography that has allowed Greeks to stay living there for 3,000 years. Greek history has had plenty of ups and downs before, but the Greeks have always recovered. It just looks like in the near future, they're entering one of their many downs. Since you watched the whole video, consider liking and subscribing.
Okay, I think I will. This is actually pretty, this is actually a pretty good channel. So if you guys, if you guys want to see me react to more of their videos, or have recommendations for reactions in the comment section down below, you can put it there. And also follow me on Twitch, because I sometimes go on there before I make all my videos and stuff like that for the week. And talk to you guys in the next video, and peace.